Hello, and welcome back to Reading Across Time Zones. I'm Yolanda,
And I'm Savannah.
and we're very happy you guys decided to join us again for episode 8. This time we're going to go over the other books that we read for the end of February. So we're going to start with one of the books that we read together, which is yours truly. Actually, no, we're going to ask Savannah how her event was last night. She can tell us, and then we can go into the next book. How was your event last night, Savannah? You got to meet a couple authors.
Yes. Okay. I went to Chapel Hill, to the Carolina Inn for brought to you by Berkeley's first in their all booked up book series that they are doing. So there was a panel and then a signing with BK Borison, Denise Williams, Kristina Forest, she was actually the moderator, and then Edward Schmidt, and he is a debut author whose first book is coming out later this summer. Kristina Forest also has a book coming out later this summer, so it was a little bit, a couple new releases that just came out, and then a couple to look forward to. But it was called Swoony Spring Reads.
Nice. And
And
is Edward's book also a romance?
it is, yeah. It is a gay sports romance. It is about the first openly gay tennis player
Oh,
in the U.S. Open. And it sounds very interesting. I'm intrigued. He said that this was like his first public event, and he did absolutely amazing. So he really sold the book. His answers to the questions were just very insightful, thoughtful, and he said that the book has a really big focus on mental health. And he said that it was the book that he kind of wanted when he was in his not so best space. And it kind of helped to process a lot of what he was going through and get him out of that, but also kind of give him what he would have been looking for in that time. So it sounds really good. I love a mental health representation. I love a sports romance. So I'm looking forward to it.
the cover looks really pretty. I could tell
The
it was a
cover is
sports
so
romance, but
pretty.
yeah, I love the colors. I couldn't tell what
Hmm.
I guess I didn't look too closely to see. I didn't know it was tennis, but I could tell it was a sports. So
Hmm.
yeah, I was curious to know if you were gonna read his book. I didn't get to ask you that last night. Well, good.
Yes, I do think that it would be a good one.
I'm glad you had a great time meeting BK, Denise, Christina, and Edward, and hopefully you'll be able to get around to reading those books. Okay, so one of the first books that we read together is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. We love Abby Jimenez this month. And that book is about a divorced doctor's life changes when her irritating new colleague sends her a letter, leading to an unexpected connection and potential perfect match for both her and her ailing brother. What did you think, Savannah?
I adored this. For me, it was a 5 out of 5. Um, at this point, Abby can do no wrong. 5 out of 5 everywhere, across the board, every book. I really loved, the connection. I loved, getting to really explore some of the deeper feelings, that, our female main character is trying to process with her brother being sick, with, kind of feeling like, they're just really stuck right now, so they're waiting for a transplant for him that might never come. And so just kind of being stuck in those like really negative feelings with her and getting to really explore that. Um, and processing, how that relates to the rest of her life, how it relates to the relationships that she's forming with, this man that she meets. And, just really following not only her love story, but, her story with her brother, her story with her mother. Like, I loved every component of how something like that can impact, every asset of your life. And so it was just really beautiful. I obviously loved the romance, but I love that Abby always goes deeper than that.
I agree. I rated the book a 5 out of 5. It was also a really well-written story, like you said, with, a big topic. It really seems like Abby's really, really good at that. So she talks, personally, I related a lot with the anxiety one. So,
Mhm.
she portrayed that very well in her character and, was really able to explain kind of like what goes on in someone's mind when someone has such amounts of anxiety and how it portrays, like, how to some people it could portray as one thing when in reality that's not even what's happening, right? It'll really come to show you that you don't really know what someone is going through. And so, don't judge a book by its cover is essentially what it is. But yeah, I also really liked the healthcare side of it with the brother needing a kidney. It was a kidney.
Mhm.
And I think you had mentioned that you had done a rabbit hole dive and you mentioned that I think Abby had had some kind of possible like health issues in relation to that. So, um could be why she was able to write it so well in that aspect, but I also really like the romance. I liked that I like a good spicy romance sometimes, but I liked that this one was really focused on the friendship and it was really focused on the romance of it. Like he was swooning me right along with her. The letters. Oh god, I loved the letters. They were, like, my favorite part of it. I kinda wish we had just a few more of those, but they were just perfect, and I really enjoyed their relationship and obviously, how it ends. So, I definitely recommend. Ready to go on to the next set of Abby books that we're gonna be reading.
Yeah, I also agree, and I feel like Abby wrote it in a way too that his anxiety played into how he romanticized things with her, and
Mhm.
I thought that that was so sweet.
It was. I will say, I guess, the only thing which, I feel like are we ever gonna get a romance book that doesn't have some form of miscommunication? Why can't people just communicate? But it wasn't nearly as frustrating as like other books where it's like, okay, girl, you're doing too much. It was still kind of there, but I love that they actually talked it out at some point. The only thing, spoiler alert, I guess, is that she never explained where the lip stain on his collar came from.
Oh, you're right.
That was the only thing, because I was waiting for that explanation. I was like, "Yeah, we know what happened in that room, but yeah, where did that stain come from?" So, I was just left hanging by that, but it wasn't enough to deter me from loving it. But yeah, I love their romance, and, of course, it had a trope that you're not a fan of, but I do I think it was what was it, accidental pregnancy. I at least like that it didn't I think like you had said before that you didn't really like it because it feels like a girl can't get a happy ending without, something like that. I like that it didn't seem that way to me in this book.
I agree.
So
I appreciate that it related to the story in that it related to her past experiences,
yeah.
so that did help me, to better accept that, I guess. And it's different, I think, to you know, obviously, our female main character in this book had been previously married, she is going through a divorce, and obviously that's something that she would talk about with a husband. The book had talked about how she wanted children and, the experience that she went through. So I felt like it was relevant in this story. I did not hate it in this instance.
Yeah, her backstory with, like, her problems from her divorce and stuff, and when she ended up seeing her husband with his new, I guess, wife having the baby that she wanted to have, and that tore me up just right along with her. I felt so bad for her, and I understand, and like you said, the accidental pregnancy made a lot of sense in this case, and I like that we were going through those just all those emotions with her of it was, like, fear, it was grieving her last marriage and what could have been, and excitement, but also, like, it was a lot of emotions. They were beautifully described, and I really, enjoyed seeing that part of it, so I'm kind of sad now remembering all that stuff. I remember now.
Yeah,
I feel for her, but I'm glad that she got her happy ending at the end of the day. But
me too. That's
any other
definitely
thoughts?
definitely one that's gonna leave a lasting impression with us, so highly
Abby
recommend.
did it again. Gotta love. And of course, Nadia's cupcakes. I We've got to try those one day. They
Oh my
sound so
gosh.
good.
Girl, did you look at the prices of them though? Oh my gosh. I
Are
might
they
as well
really
just fly there
expensive?
and get some.
Ugh. Does she ship them though?
Mhm.
I wonder though, like, how do they not get ruined in transport?
I mean, I think that they ship them very quickly.
Oh, like overnight stuff.
Yeah. But, like, ooh,
Are they
they
really, really pricey?
they are not cheap.
Really? Shoot. Well, I
It
mean,
was
she did.
like it was like over $100 for 12 cupcakes.
All right, Abby girl. I mean,
Hey, you've earned it, girl. You
uh,
won cake
that's
what
right.
was it, Cake Wars?
On Cupcake Wars, yeah. So,
Yeah,
which
so
I thought about going back to watch her season to see because I love a good
oh, we
competition show.
should.
I think we should do that. I think we should
Let's
do.
do it.
I agree. We got to find where it's at, where it's streaming with all of these platforms. You know,
Right.
Paramount and HBO are merging now. So, whatever. All right. Well, that was yours truly. So, we definitely recommend. Did you say your rating, Savannah? What's your rating?
Yeah, 5 out of 5 for that one.
Beautiful. 10/10. Would
Mhm.
definitely recommend. So, what book did you read towards the end of February, Savannah?
So, this one has been on my TBR forever. It was lost in the abyss. But because of the event, I went ahead and bumped up The Neighbor Favor by Kristina Forest since I was going to meet her. And what an absolutely perfect time because she just found out that her books are getting adaptations. So I believe they're going to be made into movies.
All
I
of them?
think it's all 3 books,
Oh my
in
goodness.
this series.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm very excited. Now that I have read them, I am very much looking forward to watching them come to life. So I read The Neighbor Favor first, which follows the youngest Green sister, a shy bookworm who enlists her charming neighbor to help her score a date, not knowing he's the obscure author she's been corresponding with in this sparkling and heart-fluttering romance. So for this one, I also gave it 5 out of 5. I thought that this book was so, so cute. So, this one kind of followed a similar path as the, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. So we are really watching, the female main character and the male main character fall in love first through a set of emails. And so the female main character messages him through his author portal. He has written one of her favorite books. And so she messages him to tell him how much she enjoyed the book and how much it meant to her. And, you know, he's a relatively I don't I don't know the word for it, but his book didn't get a whole lot of publicity. So,
Hmm.
you know, he still is managing everything himself. A lot of the fame of it has kind of fizzled out. And he's kind of stuck himself. So he's like doing a whole different job right now. He is like writing for a travel magazine. So he is all over the world, but he still has, you know, his author email. And so he gets her email and they start chatting through email. And, you know, they find just how much they relate and how easy it is to talk to one another and confide in one another. And, so pretty much the first half of the book is just us reading these emails that they've been sending to one another. And then, he kind of ghosts her, which again, I hate miscommunication. You know, he feels like he's not enough for her, that, you know, He's just not worthy because of the place that he's at in his life versus what she's aspiring to be. And so he gets a little scared, he ghosts her. Then one day they happen upon each other in real life, not realizing it. And so all of these feelings are coming back. You know, they feel this sense of familiarity. And then he realizes that it's her, but she still has no idea. And so it's almost like he just can't stay away from her, though. So it was so cute watching, you know, her fall back in love with him again. I loved that aspect, and, I love a book about books, let me tell you. So the book
Mm.
recs in this book, chef's kiss. I
Were they
love it.
actual grapes?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
I'll check that
love when authors do that. I'm like, "Let me just take these notes real quick. Adds to wish list." So, I really enjoyed that one, and I also read the second book, but I will talk more about that after our, next joint read.
Glad to hear it was really good. I have that one on my list too, so I'll have to read it and see what book recommendations they give. All right. So the other book that we read was one that we had been looking forward to since last year, and that's And Now Back to You by BK Borison. I got the limited edition one, which I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have because I should have gotten the limited edition of First Time Caller. So now I have a pink and a purple book, but whatever. It's really pretty. Super shiny. Okay. And the book is about two rival meteorologists, Jackson and Delilah, must work together during a during a snowstorm, leading to unexpected chemistry and friendship. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed seeing, their it wasn't even like an enemies thing. He was just, like, kind of a butt to her, and it was really funny because, like, when I first met Jackson in the previous book, I was like, "Oh, he's just a little dorky, but he must be, like, really sweet," which he is, but then he does these, like, passive aggressive things, like leaving her Post-it notes with frowning faces and basically, like, "Stop parking this way." It was just so funny to me, but I loved, tip I don't usually like characters that are too positive and sunshiny like Delilah. Sometimes I'm like, "Okay, girl, like, let's bring it back down to earth. Nothing is as great as it seems." But I really love seeing her. Like, she definitely had that ray of sunshine that just genuinely puts a smile on your face. I loved imagining her in that turtle shell and how she just makes like the best out of every situation, but then you see the other side of her too, where she isn't all sunshine and it's kind of like a facade, but I think it's more like the way that she deals with that stuff is just being nice and just how she can go up to any table, anybody. She doesn't know a stranger. And that meshed really well with Jackson. But finding out that Jackson was just this passive aggressive little moody man, definitely the definition of like a rainy cloud. With her sunshine, it was too funny. I love seeing that dynamic. I actually had a few quotes. I took notes, Savannah.
Oh, look at
Um,
you, you remembered something.
So I think one of the one was I feel so bad for Delilah so far from the first chapters of her because her boss, Keith, is the worst man on God's green earth. Like, he is horrible, and I feel so bad for her. And it just reminds me of how many women are unfortunately in that situation, right? Ugh. And then I put when Jackson mentions his office is an old cleaning supply closet, do you think that's the same closet as you know what from the first book? Right. I thought that was hilarious. They put him in that closet. A closet
I
holds
don't
secrets.
I don't think it was because he was, you know, he was obviously working there at that time. So I'm gonna tell myself that they did not defile his office.
I don't
But
know.
I don't know.
How many cleaning supply closets can a place have? Is my question.
That's a
So
good question.
I
I wish you
highlight
had told me that before so I could have asked BK. That would have been hilarious.
that would have been hilarious. Maybe I can ask her when I see her in April.
You can, yeah.
Like, hey, was that cleaning supplies closet? Like you said, the one that Aiden and Lila defiled?
Um,
Questions, not answers.
she would love it, I think, because last night literally started with a cloud sex joke. So,
What was the sex joke?
it was something about, how they were, cumulus clouds, but, cumulus clouds. Anyway.
Anyways. Okay, so I highlighted 4 quotes that I liked. One of them was, "I think you hide all of your best parts in tiny little pouches, Jackson Clark." I was cheesing. It made me blush. And then, "Every baked good I've received has mysteriously disappeared." That one was hilarious to me.
Yeah, that one was
It
good.
was like, he just accepts it that every baked good that is the truth in my household. Every baked good mysteriously disappears in my household, but that's because of my mom.
That's
Okay.
true.
Another one was, "And since you insist on acting like the whole world didn't catch you swapping spit with the cute weather lady, everyone is feral for details." His twin sisters asking if they'll add her to the group chat was just my favorite. And I kind of wish that we would have had a chapter where they did add her to the group chat and see, that conversation. But I don't know what it was about them saying swapping spit that made me laugh out loud, honestly. And the last one was, "You're not difficult," she says quietly. "You just haven't had anyone to take care of you." And the representation that Jackson had as like his relationship with his mother was also it was really sad and like with his sisters. So, BK also portrayed that really well. And I like that essentially Delilah can relate to them as well and was able to bring something to the table to help out with his sisters as well. So that was really beautiful to see. But yeah, I liked it. Can't wait for the 3rd one, and I'm really curious to know what the title's gonna be. What'd you
Ugh,
think?
I also loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5. Um, but, same with BK as Abby. No wrong in my eyes.
Yeah,
Um, I I loved it for all the reasons that you liked it. That same representation, and just kinda getting to really explore why Jackson is the way that he was in the first book, find out a little bit more about him, and, why he is, seemingly a little uptight. I thought that that really made a lot of sense. I liked that it related back. Um, yeah, his sisters were so, so funny, and I could really relate a lot to Delilah in, watching her grandfather go through Alzheimer's. That is incredibly difficult. So even just at one of the smaller parts, I was like, so sad. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. This one, I think, emotionally hit harder than her previous books, but I really enjoy all of them. They're all very comforting to me.
they are. I liked, another part that I really liked was, you see that Jackson's really, like there's many layers to him, he's like an onion, right? Because at the end of the day, he is really sweet, really nice, and, like, he kinda seemed like he wouldn't hurt a fly, but then when he was fully cursing at those people at the school when his sister dipped,
Oh,
was so
yeah.
I was like, "You know what? I wouldn't have expected him to just go out there and just cursing them out, but I liked seeing that. It goes back to his little passive aggressiveness, but
Yeah,
I really liked them. It was a perfect portrayal of Grumpy and Sunshine.
it really was.
What other book did you read, Savannah?
So, I loved The Neighbor Favor so much, I continued with the series. I decided to squeeze in the partner plot, which is about the middle sister, of this family and her chance wedding that reunites excuse me, her chance Vegas wedding, that reunites her with her high school sweetheart, reigniting passion and questioning career-driven lives. So, you guys know that I don't love a second chance romance. Um but I had to read it because it was the next book in the series, and I really want to read the 3rd book. I think that one will probably, possibly end up being my favorite just based on what I know about the character. So I couldn't miss anything in the 2nd book. I still had to read it. But surprisingly, I really liked it. I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars, not my favorite, but I did really like it. I think that um it kind of related a lot to the first book in that it addressed, kind of still those feelings of like I'm just not enough for someone else, and so what I have to do to protect myself. Um I related to that, and I enjoyed the banter in this one. I thought was really good. There was that familiarity between the characters from having been together previously. Um, and so I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed her being so committed to her fashion career. So she is like a fashion designer slash, she dresses celebrities for, events for their works that are coming out. And so she works most closely with like the most famous female rapper in this book. And so just getting to see like how committed a woman is to her career and how that can impact her relationships. I really enjoyed that. It it didn't have, that whole family, gotta get married, gotta have kids, gotta, do all that. So I liked seeing that in this book with her. Um but yeah, it was cute still. And now I am really looking forward to reading the third one, which I did pick up last night. So
What's the name of the third one?
the love lyric.
Ah, yes, the love lyric. What is it about that character that you said it has you very intrigued?
Okay, so this is about the oldest sister. And she is, I will say, reserved. Um, but she's like, okay, so she is very like no bullshit in these last couple of books. Like, y'all need to get it together because this is not what we are doing. Her husband passed away, leaving her with a young daughter. And so she is like doing everything she can to protect her daughter, her parents, her little sisters. She just seems like a very strong character, and like nothing else is going to throw her off her path in life. So I'm ready for the thing that will.
I was gonna say you and these tropes that you don't like, and so far you've read 2 books with tropes that you're not a fan of, and you're like, this isn't so bad." It's almost
It's
like it
not
won't be
it's
well
not
written.
always bad.
Yeah. I was, when you said, that the character didn't have that w necessarily, like, big pushing of wanting to get married, the kids, the white picket fence. I'm ready to read a book where there isn't a couple that is dying to have kids, because I feel like that's not everybody's end goal, and that's not
Yeah,
everyone's dream.
right.
So I'd love to finally find a book where someone, they get together and maybe just adopt an animal that they really want to be with, and not, oh yeah, let's have kids. Just something I guess more that I can relate to. Because, I understand, people want to have their kids or whatever, but what about the other people who fall in love, and what else do they find in their life that's not pursuing the mutual goal of having a family? What does that look like, right? So maybe that's something we need to fish for. Hopefully we'll find it. Anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so.
We've had a lot of good books in February, lots of 5 stars. You definitely read a lot, but you had a goal to meet because you had to meet them in person. So I can't wait to talk to you guys next time about some of the books that we read in March. We're not going to tell you all the books. And one of those is going to be Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter. And I'm super ready for that one. So we'll be talking to you guys next time. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.